Good morning, friends. It is somewhere between 7:30 and 8 in the morning. My husband has left for work. I am cuddled up in bed watching vlogs for Contemporaryathon because I have to at least watch the core 4 vlogs before I start my day lately. I watched Julie's last night before I went to bed. And so I'm watching Melanie's right now. I still need to watch Natasha and Chelsea. But I love those girls. Their vlogs are always amazing. So that's how I've been starting my morning this week. But today is lazy day because it's a non-working day. Sorry, I'm yawning a lot. Goal, finish this. And then what I'm going to do is put a poll up on Instagram to see whether I should start and finish today, famous in a small town or a very large expanse of sea. I think I want to take you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to read famous in a small town today because I would rather take my time with a very large expanse of sea because I think that one's going to be heavier than famous in a small town. And when I read Foolish Hearts, I was like, I basically binged it anyway. So I think that'll be a compulsorily readable book for me. So I think that's going to be my choice for today is famous in a small town and finish Comics Break Your Heart. So those are the reading goals. And then I do need to deep clean my master bathroom because I've been neglectful and it is gross and I cannot deal. So while I'm home today, that's the plan. So I will check in with you guys after I do some reading or some cleaning or something other than lay here and watch videos. Hello and good morning. So it's about 10:15 in the morning now. When I first, anyways, my first clip happened between like 7:30 and 8 this morning. It is now well after that. So I've gotten up, I worked on the bathroom some. If I take it in chunks, it goes a lot quicker when I deep clean it like I am today. So I did the shower and then took a shower. So there we go on that. I still have more to do, obviously. I still have the countertops and the sinks and the toilet to deep clean and the floor. But it shouldn't take me too long. That part I do more often than I do the super deep clean on the shower. So I feel a little better about that. But so I didn't get any reading done this morning, if I'm honest. I spent the morning catching up on YouTube videos because it's been a minute since I've really done that. And I had so many things I was watching. It's crazy. And then I had to upload my vlog, which is up, obviously, by now. And yeah, so got all of that done. What I'm doing now is I'm heading into town, as we would say, because I have a box of books here. So there is a small used bookstore in my town. So I'm heading into town to go to that used bookstore and actually exchange a few books. I've not ever exchanged books at this particular store. I've shopped and wandered a couple of times, but I've not tried to, put in any books. These are all books I was planning on unhauling anyway, and typically when I unhaul, I just donate to my local library because my library, 1, doesn't have that many titles because it's a small library, and 2, doesn't have state funding for titles. So if I have a new, nice hardback, I typically take it over there. But I still have 2 huge boxes I'm going to be taking to the library here soon. But I have this small box of some popular young adult titles and a few volumes of manga because I've decided to drop 2 series. I haven't talked about this on my channel yet, but I guess I can go ahead and talk about it here. There are 2 series I was trying out to see how I felt about them. And I thought, I'll just slowly collect these as I find them and whatever. But both of these series, the longer I'm away from the story, the more I'm like, I really don't care about them. I don't care to finish them. So those are Bakuman and Pandora Hearts. So I am dropping both of these series. I read the first 3 volumes of each, and I liked them fine. They weren't awful or the worst thing ever, but I'm dropping them. I have no desire to continue them, and I know that's going to be an unpopular opinion, especially when it comes to Bakuman, but I just don't care about them. And if I don't care about them, I'm not going to care to collect them. I don't need them in my collection. If I'm really that interested in knowing what happens to these guys in these stories, I can always, one, Google it, or two, I can always, just run to a Barnes & Noble and read the last volumes of these stories, because I really just kind of don't care about the journey for these. I don't. I should, but I don't, so I'm dropping them. So I thought at a used bookstore, since this particular used bookstore has asked specifically for graphic novels. So I'm like, manga is a great graphic novel format, so I think I'm going to try and see if they'll even take them. Because, some people are very, up in arms about manga, especially here in conservative Utah, because people automatically assume it's all porn. Yes, that's a gross misassumption, of course, and I will never say that that line of thought is correct. So I know that there's a small, tiny chance that they might not even take these volumes. I hope they do, so that people can get exposed to the format, because the format's wonderful, but I'm not banking on it, because this is conservative Utah, especially conservative Utah County, where Brigham Young University, the quote-unquote Mormon college is. So it's a very conservative climate in which I live. So it's one of those things where there's a good chance that they won't even take it, which will be a shame, because I feel like these titles should be read. So anyhow, that's what I'm up to this morning. And then I'm going to grab me some food. I did bring Comics Will Break Your Heart with me, so I could just go and sit down and enjoy my meal wherever. I think I'm just going to end up at Denny's or somewhere where I can just sit and take my time and not feel rushed. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. Okay, so I didn't vlog in there. I didn't feel right about it. I was really the only one in the store besides the proprietor, but it still didn't feel right. But so for the books that I took in, I ended up getting over $40 in credit. But one thing they do with credit is you can only use half of the credit on your purchase, and then you actually pay for the rest. But that worked out in my favor today, because I found the 3 books in the Throne of Glass series in hardback that I was missing. So it was Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows, all in fabulous shape, and I paid $16 for these hardbacks. I would pay more than $16 for one of these hardbacks. So, huge win at the used bookstore for me today. So now I have the entire series, because I had purchased all the other books. I had checked these 3 out from the library. So now I have the complete series on my shelf, and that makes my heart happy. Say what you want about the Throne of Glass series, but I like it. So, anyways, off for food and reading. So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I've got about 100 pages left in Comics Will Break Your Heart. This is definitely deeper than I originally thought it was going to be, and it's definitely that coming of age, slice of life style thing. The romance is kind of coming to fruition. Neither his family definitely doesn't want it. Her family, I think, is just more chill in general, but anyways, there's really bad blood between their families from past stuff, so that's all I can say without spoiling major plot points. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on currently. I do have Famous in a Small Town right here ready to go. So my husband's home from work in about 4.5 hours. So to make him happy, what I would love to do is read the a little over 400 pages that I've got left by the time he gets home. Is that going to happen? Let's find out. Okay, so it's been a little bit since we last chatted, and I have finished Comics Will Break Your Heart. So this ended up really just being kind of that generically sweet, cute contemporary. There wasn't anything like groundbreaking or earth-shattering in this. It was cute. The only artwork you really get is like on the cover. There's none throughout, but I think they could have done more with that. But the discussion that they were having about comics versus movies was the most important part of the story that was being told. And I think the way they handled all of that was really nicely done, because it talked about how, like, at things like San Diego Comic-Con, it's referenced quite heavily that it started out just being about comics, but now it's about movies and everything else, but not really comics. So it's really interesting, the take that they took on it that way, and I think it was very well done. I'm debating between a 3.5 and 4 stars. There's nothing exactly wrong with this book at all. I really just was a little let down. I was hoping for more from it. I was hoping to have more like comic panels and stuff, because they really could have done some really neat things with this story. And like I say, the comic discussion that they were having within this contemporary was great, which is what made me keep wanting to read it and made it continually enjoyable for me. But long haul speaking, it was really just a cute contemporary about two kids who were connected through comics. And so yeah, that's essentially what it came down to. Like I said, I think I was just expecting more. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to rate it yet. So I'm just going to leave it as my currently reading on Goodreads until I decide. My Goodreads is always linked down below if you ever want to know more in-depth thoughts on anything. But yeah, that's kind of... Whew, sorry. I'm so relaxed that my body's just tired. So that's how I'm feeling about Comics Will Break Your Heart. So now, to make my hubs happy, so we'll watch a movie tonight. Time to read Famous in a Small Town to completion. Now, I know this has to do with, like, the band at school, and that is so, like, my aesthetic in life. In high school, I was in the color guard, very involved with the marching band. Like, that was just part of my high school experience. So I really think I'm going to end up enjoying this one a lot. So, yes. Let's hope that this is as cute as Foolish Hearts was, because I'm just here for it. Okay, so it's now 3 o'clock, and I am about 100 pages into Famous in a Small Town, and there are parts of this that are overly confusing 100 pages into a contemporary, in my opinion. I mean, there's mysterious brother no one knew about that's come to town, and, you know, the small town girl who's, sorry for the cattail in this, because there's a light song demanding my attention right now. But anyway, so there's this boy who's come into town, and then the local girl who babysits for his older brother and his wife, his older brother's kids. You know, they're working on becoming friends and such. But the reasons why he's there are still super mysterious, because apparently this brother didn't know he had a brother, like the older one. And it's just, there's a little too much mystery with all of that at this point, where I wish we would have had a little more clarification at this point. And then the plot line that most people pitch, where it's a marching band and it has to deal with fundraising and a local celebrity, like, that's really kind of a backstory to these two getting to know each other. And I'm okay with that, for sure. I just wish it actually involved more of the active band stuff. This is clearly just fundraising. It's not really involving the band at this point, other than the band's trying to fundraise this trip to the Rose Bowl is essentially what it's about. So I'm having mixed feelings. I'm not loving it as much as I loved Foolish Hearts. I can tell you that right now. But the writing's really fun. The banter between the two is fantastic. But I see this as more of a 4-star read, not a 5-star read at this point. So we will see. I'm not hating it by any means. I still love Emma Mill's writing. It's just one of those things where it's just not as favorite as I wanted it to be. And maybe I went in with too high of expectations. Kind of like I did with Comics Break Your Heart. I don't know. But I have a cuddle cat. So he and I are going to spend some time reading. Well, he's going to get loved on in the lap while I do some reading of Famous in a Small Town, and I will let you guys know more thoughts when I finish a little more. Okay, so we've gotten some answers about August now, the boy, and I don't know if I love those answers. But it's okay. It's not making the story less enjoyable necessarily, but I'm definitely not enjoying this one the same way I enjoyed Foolish Hearts, which makes me a little sad because I thought with that band trope to it that it would do better. And, you know, they have this mystery now added into it that I feel is just kind of unnecessary. But, yeah, anyway, that's kind of what's going on. I've read 176 pages in this just over 300 page book. So I'll definitely have it done before my husband gets home because it's now 4-ish. But yeah, I've got like 130-ish pages left in the book. So anyway, I'm kind of disappointed. I really thought I was gonna love this. I think if I want to have a band book about the kind of experience I had in band, I think it's just one of those things where I might have to write it myself. Because I feel like sometimes people try to write it, but they haven't lived it, so they don't fully understand it. So, yeah. Anyway. I will have more thoughts for you later. Right now, I think I just need to keep going and let you guys know my full thoughts once I finish. We'll chat when I'm done. Okay, friends, so I am officially finished with Famous in a Small Town. I was disappointed. I really wanted the band part to play a much bigger place in the story because that's how it was pitched to me. Had it not been pitched to me that way, I probably would have enjoyed it more. I like our characters for the most part. They make some really boneheaded young people decisions in this book that didn't sit well with me. This one was more of a struggle. Like, I think it's closer to a 3-star read, and that makes me so sad. Because I like Emma Mill's writing so much. And there were redeeming parts of this book, but the rest of it just felt so meh. It just was disappointing. I think I get that way with young adult contemporary more often now, and maybe it's because I read so much sickeningly sweet shoujo that I don't end up enjoying the YA contemporaries because I would just rather read shoujo. I think that's where I'm getting to, honestly. So I think if I were to participate in Contemporaryathon in the future, I would stick to my adult contemporary romances or read shoujo or josei manga because those stories just make me happier. They have a lot more depth to them without going too far. I think that's the thing with young adult contemporaries. I feel like they're always trying to push too far and that they don't end up coming across in a way that's easily accessible or enjoyable. So, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. So, ugh. Both books I finished today have been disappointing, and that makes me sad. I don't want to be disappointed by my reads, especially because I was super excited for both of them. I've officially settled on a 3.5 for Comics Will Break Your Heart, and then this one's a 3. Like, it's just an average book. I can't give it a higher rating than a 3. So, anyways, that's how I'm feeling. It's now 5 o'clock. My husband should be home within the next half hour or so. And we'll be able to do our movie night like he wants. I'm not sure what we're doing for dinner or anything. I haven't even thought about it. I still technically have to work on the bathroom because I've just been focused on reading so that he could have movie night because he's super excited about watching movies lately. I don't know why. I really don't. I would rather just watch. We've got a couple shows that we're watching right now. I'd rather just watch a few episodes of that in a row than watch a movie right now. But anyway. Today's been a struggle reading-wise. I haven't had this much of a struggle reading-wise in a fair bit of time, so. After Contemporaryathon, it'll be really easy for me to just swan dive back into fantasy for a while, and I've got plenty of that on my shelf to read, so that won't be an issue or a problem, so. Anyways, those are my thoughts at the moment. I'm sure I'll film a little bit of B-roll. I think I might start up Tokyo Terrorable Girls Volume 4 just because this series makes me so happy, and I need that right now. And I'm now dreading starting A Very Large Expanse of Sea. So maybe I'll take tomorrow as a shoujo manga day. I do have some shoujo that I've recently picked up that I could kind of blitz through and read a bunch of and go from there. And I also have some contemporary adult romances that I could read. So maybe I've got some that are older that I could probably swap out A Very Large Expanse of Sea and save that for when I'm really like in the mood for that and read the others. You know what? I think I'm going to do that because I'm afraid I'm going to be like super grumpy if I try to read that and end up not enjoying it with the experience I had with these two. So anyways, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to mull that over, but I will read some Tokyo Terrorable Girls. I'll take some shoujo with me to work tomorrow. My work day is pretty quiet tomorrow, so I'll have plenty of time to read after I deep clean the floors, because I always have to do that after a storm. But yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what's going to make me happiest right now, so that I don't burn out in the middle of this readathon, because this is what, day 4? Yeah, day 4. This is day 4, and I've read pretty much I've covered all my challenges with this one, because this was my Blurple book. So, other than something that you wanted to read in 2018, but I've got plenty on my Kindle that's adult romance that can be that. So I'm going to swap that out, because I can't make myself do it. Hi friends, I am wrapping my day 4 Contemporaryathon vlog right now, because it is 9 o'clock, and that is my cutoff time for vlogging, so that I can just be comfy and not care what I look like. So, yes, today I finished Comics Will Break Your Heart. I read completely Famous in a Small Town, and I started The Deal by Elle Kennedy. That was the one I decided to start. I'm about 25% of the way into that one, and it's definitely that Jock needs to keep his grades up finds the smart girl in class to tutor him. She's a music major. He's a hockey player. Like, it's that kind of a trope, and I'm totally okay with that. It doesn't bother me at all. So, anyways, I'm kind of here for it. I'm really enjoying it so far. And then, so that I'm swapping out with A Very Large Expansive Sea, just because I don't want to taint my experience reading that one with the kind of lukewarm feelings I had with the ones I read and finished today. And then the last thing I have on my TBR after that officially is Tokyo Tarariba Girls Volume 4, and I love these girls. I'm ready to hang out with them again. So the goals for tomorrow are to finish the deal and hopefully read this. I have a pretty quiet work day tomorrow, so there's a high probability that I'll finish everything. And then we'll look at what I've got on my Kindle as far as contemporary smutty reads that I haven't read. And we'll find something fun. I got a couple of NetGalley arcs from Forever Romance that I can probably pick up for that. So we'll probably do 1 or 2 of those. And it'll just depend. I'm not going to obsessively read over the next couple days because I'm well ahead of things. I'm just going to read what I want to read at my normal pace, and it's going to be great. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you're enjoying this week of daily vlogs. I don't daily vlog often. It's only when I do these week-long readathons, and I don't do too many of them anymore. I do this one, and then I'll have rereadathon in March, and then I don't think I have another one until booktubeathon. Like, I really don't do week-long readathons very often, so you're not going to get stuck with these all the time from me. Usually I'll do a weekly reading vlog once a month where I just kind of talk about my thoughts on reading for a week, and you get that, but I usually only do those once a month anyway. I think I just repeated myself. I clearly need to end this clip. I'll see you guys tomorrow.